in today's video, I invite you into my semi-messy workshop where we are going to work on the chassis, and I'm going to go over a few other things that I haven't covered in my previous videos. So let's get straight into that. I'm also going to hopefully get the electronics in this video, but we'll see what we can get done. Let's get straight to it. Okay, so I probably shouldn't have gone ahead with this, but I did cut the chassis plate last night without recording. Here's the old chassis plate. You can see that that's rusted quite a bit, and we're just going to go around drilling those, but yeah, I'll put that in time lapse. See you guys in a bit. It's one of those times where you just really wish you had a drill press, because this actually gets tiring from putting all the pressure on. Okay, so here's where I'm standing on the build. I know I did jump ahead with a few things. I was just trying to get a lot done, and I'm not really great at recording while I work. So I do apologize for that. I'm going to go over everything I've done though, so that you guys can catch up to speed at where I'm at. I did some work on the chassis plate. I cut a new one, as I mentioned previously. I adjusted the shock mounts, that's new, and I did some work on just where the things mount. So let's quickly dive into that. At the front of the build here, I did fix up a few things. The front was a little bit messed up, but I welded that back together, and now it's stronger. I still have to do a little bit of work there, but that's mostly done. Okay, so at the back here too, I did a bit of work there. I don't have the sway bar on right now, but I will find a way to mount that. I don't want to mount it the same way I did last time, because it doesn't look as good as when it peeks through when it fully compresses. You'll see I did adjust the shock mounts here. Now they go up. They used to meet down here, but now it goes up. So that's a lot better. My shocks mount a lot better, and I get a lot more upward travel on that. That's not terrible. Still would like a little bit more, but I can work with what I have. So I touched up a few of the welds and made sure that this was more in line. It was coming a bit too far back. It's like back here. That's a lot better now. And I adjusted the chassis plate, which I'll show in a minute. I adjusted that, so now it goes in a bit further, bringing my rear axle further forward, which is a lot more scale. Okay, so this is the bottom of the truck. I'm going to go over a few things. You can see where they mount here. It comes back, so that is a lot better. It brings this further forward, because if it was mounted out here, it would clearly be way too far back. So that is a lot better. I have to bring that in quite a bit, though. You can see further than my previous one. These holes here were the previous mounts, but making them back here, it brings the front out a bit further, which I think was overall better. I'm sorry if I didn't explain that too good, but it is quite confusing to explain. At the front here, it's doing pretty good. I added an extra screw here and got a new piece for this plate, which I had previously broken on my last one. So that's about it for the bottom of this. I just drilled all those holes by hand and cut the whole plate by hand, so that was exhausting, but I think it was worth it. Now, one thing I wanted to go over was the full compression, because as you can see on the back here, that is not super far up, but I think that's the highest I can get it to compress, because you'll notice here, these upper links are going to hit on my battery mount there. I've never done this style of spare tires, so I think it is going to be good, but it's definitely a bit of a learning curve. On here on the front, full compression is amazing. It actually, the wheels come up a bit further than this, which is like the real trucks. Another thing I'm going to do is get the body mounted, but I'll save that for another video, because I think that that is important enough to be a separate video. Yeah, so that's about it for this front end. I think it looks a lot better than my previous one. If it takes a hit, worst case scenario, it just bends a little bit, but it shouldn't bend because I've done a lot more design in there, and I think it should be a lot stronger. The back is definitely gonna be a little bit more work to get my battery mount on there. I need to make a rear housing mount for on here that'll cover my battery there, and I think that's all I have to do on the back of the truck, other than some body panels. Now, I know I sort of skipped over a few of these things here. I did mention them in my previous build. These are made out of some square rod, and then cut the top off and drilled some holes in them, so they hold my trailing arm, and then on the back of it mounts my upper links, and they just screw straight to the chassis. Now I'm doing a mock-up with two-wheel drive, because it should be around the same. That's where I'm going to leave it for today's video. I made a lot of progress today. but I am definitely going to do a lot more work on this. We still need to work on the drive base a little bit, but thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed, let me know what I did good on. If you didn't, as always, just let me know what I can improve on, and we'll see you guys in the next video.